The dream that was supposed to unite a continent asterisk. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was meant to be more than just football. It was supposed to be a moment of unity. 3 nations, 1 continent, 1 massive global celebration. When the United States, Canada, and Mexico won the joint hosting rights back in 2018, the reaction was electric. Fans saw it as a symbol of cooperation in a divided world. Governments sold it as proof that North America could work together. FIFA framed it as the future of the tournament itself. This was not just another World Cup. It was the biggest ever planned. 48 teams, 104 matches. Over 6.5 million fans expected to cross borders, fill stadiums, and flood city streets. Mexico City would host the opening match, bringing history and passion. New York and New Jersey would host the final, showcasing scale and spectacle. The United States, with its massive stadiums and experience from hosting in 1994, was expected to lead the project with confidence and calm authority. Canada and Mexico were seen as reliable partners, strong supporters helping carry the load. For years, everything followed the script. Host cities were selected. Stadium renovations moved forward. Promotional campaigns rolled out smoothly. The official match ball debuted in 2025, and qualification drama across the world fueled excitement. From Europe to Africa, Asia to South America, fans began planning trips years in advance. On the surface, North America looked ready. But behind the scenes, cracks were already forming. As time passed, headlines around the United States began to change. Political division deepened, social tensions flared, security incidents in major cities gained global attention. What once felt like background noise slowly started to dominate the narrative. The delayed Copa America final in Miami, in 2024, became a turning point. What should have been a showcase event turned into a warning sign. International media didn't forget it. Neither did fans. By late 2025, something was clear. The balance inside the hosting partnership had shifted. Canada and Mexico looked calm, organized, and predictable. The United States, once seen as the anchor of the entire tournament, started to look uncertain. Not because stadiums weren't ready, not because money wasn't available, but because leadership and stability were being questioned. And then politics stepped fully onto the pitch. What started as quiet concern suddenly became loud controversy. Comments were made, headlines exploded, sponsors began to ask uncomfortable questions, fans started rethinking travel plans. The dream of a united North American World Cup was no longer guaranteed. This wasn't just about football anymore, and the worst part, this was only the beginning. Before we go further, let us ask you something. Do you still believe the 2026 World Cup will go exactly as planned? Drop a quick thought in the comments. When politics took center stage asterisk, everything changed in September 2025. During a press conference, President Donald Trump made a statement that sent shockwaves through the football world. He suggested that the United States might move World Cup matches if certain host cities were not considered safe. To many viewers at home, it sounded like a simple security comment. To the rest of the world, it sounded like something far more serious. It implied that the US government could interfere directly with FIFA's authority. That was a line that could not be crossed. Under World Cup rules, host cities are locked in years in advance. Governments do not get to reshuffle matches based on political pressure or public comments. FIFA officials reacted quickly, making it clear that football, not politics, controlled the tournament. The message was firm, but the damage was already done. Trump didn't stop there. He went on to publicly criticize several US host cities, calling them unsafe or poorly managed. These comments dominated international headlines. Travel agencies took notice. Sponsors grew uneasy. Foreign media began to frame the United States as unpredictable, even chaotic. Meanwhile, images of Trump appearing alongside FIFA leadership fueled speculation. Was there pressure behind closed doors? Was the tournament being politicized? FIFA repeatedly denied it. Officials insisted that nothing had changed operationally. All host cities were confirmed. Security plans were progressing. There was no reason for alarm. But perception matters. Once the backbone of the tournament, the United States suddenly looked like its biggest question mark. Canada and Mexico, by comparison, looked steady and disciplined. Their leaders avoided dramatic statements. Their messaging stayed calm. Their preparations continued quietly, without public drama. In global football, silence can be strength. As sponsors and broadcasters assessed risk, confidence slowly shifted north and south of the U.S. border. Canada and Mexico began to feel like the safer bets, not just in security terms, but in leadership and reliability. Still, politics were only part of the problem. Because while words were shaking confidence, real-world threats were about to raise the stakes even higher. Fear, drones, and the question of safety. As the countdown to 2026 continued, security became the defining issue of the entire World Cup conversation. The memory of the 2024 Copa America breach in Miami lingered. Images of delays, confusion, and overwhelmed security spread quickly online and never fully disappeared. At the same time, civil unrest in several major U.S. cities fueled fresh concern. For international fans, the question became simple: will it be safe? Mexico faced its own scrutiny. Questions about cartel activity in regions like Jalisco resurfaced. Canada was not immune either, especially after violence broke out during Vancouver's Lapu Day festival. No host nation was perfect, but the response mattered. Governments across North America moved fast. The United States committed more than $1 billion toward World Cup security, with FEMA backing additional funding. Canada invested over $100 million into security upgrades in Toronto and surrounding areas. Mexico reinforced security across all host cities, pointing to its long history of hosting high-risk international matches without major incidents. Then came a defining moment. At a 2025 counterterrorism summit in Washington state, leaders simulated a coordinated drone attack on a major stadium. The scenario was chilling. Drones are cheap, fast, and difficult to detect. The exercise revealed real gaps in preparedness, but it also showed progress. New detection systems worked. Response times improved. Coordination between agencies strengthened. For the first time, the United States, Canada, and Mexico held a high-level trilateral security meeting focused solely on the World Cup. Information sharing increased. Joint planning deepened. On paper, safety was improving. But again, perception mattered. Analysts noted that true security depends on trust, not just technology. And globally, that trust leaned toward Canada and Mexico. They were seen as focused. The United States was still viewed through the lens of political tension and public unrest. Yet even if fans felt safer, another barrier stood in their way long before they reached any stadium: visas. Visa's reputation, and the final verdict asterisk. As demand for World Cup tickets exploded, frustration followed close behind. Fans from Africa, Asia, South America, and even parts of Europe complained about the U.S. visa process. Long wait times, strict financial requirements, extensive background checks. Compared to previous World Cups, the process felt exhausting. One journalist summed it up perfectly. In Russia, you needed a ticket and a passport. In the U.S., you need time, money, and a miracle. Facing mounting criticism, the Trump administration introduced the FIFA Pass in late 2025. The idea was simple: prioritize visa interviews for official ticket holders, add more staff, speed up processing. More than 400 consular officers were reassigned to help. Officials insisted that screening standards would not change, only the speed. FIFA leadership praised the move publicly, calling it a commitment to global fans. But doubts remained. Canada and Mexico offered simpler entry procedures. Travel agencies began recommending matches in Toronto, Vancouver, and Mexico City first. Fans adjusted plans. Investors noticed. Marketing budgets shifted. Travel platforms reported rising demand outside the United States. By the end of 2025, the unthinkable had happened. Canada and Mexico were no longer junior partners. They were the tournament's most trusted hosts. Their stadiums were finished early. Their messaging stayed disciplined. Their promotional campaigns earned praise. Mexico quietly shut down cartel-related fears by pointing to its consistent record. Canada impressed analysts with efficiency and transparency. The United States, despite its wealth and infrastructure, struggled with optics, political interference, visa complications, public criticism of its own cities. Even with FIFA repeatedly expressing confidence, the global narrative had shifted. Now, with June 11, 2026 approaching, North America stands at a crossroads. The foundation for a historic World Cup is still there. Security cooperation has improved. Visa pathways exist. Investments are massive. The tournament can still succeed, but success is no longer guaranteed by size or money. It will be decided by trust. Will the United States stabilize its message and restore confidence? Will Canada and Mexico continue to lead quietly? Will visa access shape fan turnout in unexpected ways? That's the real story of World Cup 2026. Now we want to hear from you. Which host nation feels most prepared? Can the U.S. recover before kickoff? And will this World Cup be remembered for unity or for a shift in global trust? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. The world is watching, and the clock is ticking.